Welcome back to Top Talk TV, where everything comes off the top. Today we're going to do a reaction to the king again, George Carlin, and this one is the Persian Gulf War.
Let's do it.
You ready?
Yes.
All right, let's do it.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Well, a lot of things have happened since the last time I saw you. Just want to talk a little bit about that war in the Persian Gulf. Big doings in the Persian Gulf. You know my favorite part of that war? It's the first war we ever had that was on every channel plus cable. And the war got good ratings too, didn't it? Got good ratings. Well, we like war. We like war. We're a war-like people. We like war because we're good at it. And you know why we're good at it? Because we get a lot of practice. This country's only 200 years old, and already we've had 10 major wars. We average a major war in this country every 20 years, so we're good at it. And it's a good thing we are. We're not very good at anything else anymore. Can't build a decent car, can't make a TV set or a VCR worth the fuck. Got no steel industry left, can't get health care to our old people, can't educate our young people, but we can bomb the shit out of your country, all right? Huh? We can bomb the shit out of your country, all right? Especially if your country is full of brown people. Oh, we like that, don't we? That's our hobby. That's our new job in the world, bombing brown people. Iraq, Panama, Grenada, Libya, you got some brown people in your country, tell them to watch the fuck out, or we'll goddamn bomb them. But when's the last white people you can remember that we bombed? Can you remember the last white, can you remember any white people we've ever bombed? The Germans. The Germans are the only ones, and the only reason for that is because they were trying to cut in on our action. They wanted to dominate the world. Bullshit, that's our fucking job. That's our fucking job! Now we only bomb brown people. Not because they're trying to cut in on our action, just because they're brown. Now you might be noticing I don't feel about that war the way we were told we were supposed to feel about that war, the way we were ordered and instructed by the United States government to feel about that war. See, my mind doesn't work that way. I got this real moron thing I do. It's called thinking. And I'm not a really good American because I like to form my own opinions. I don't just roll over when I'm told to. Sad to say, most Americans just roll over on command. Not me. Not me. I have certain rules I live by. My first rule, I don't believe anything the government tells me. Nothing. Zero. And I don't take very seriously the media or the press in this country, who in the case of the Persian Gulf War were nothing more than unpaid employees of the Department of Defense, and who most of the time function as kind of an unofficial public relations agency for the United States government. So I don't listen to them. I don't really believe in my country. And I gotta tell you folks, I don't get all choked up about yellow ribbons and American flags. I consider them to be symbols, and I leave symbols to the symbol-minded. To me, war is nothing but a whole lot of prick waving, okay? War is just a lot of men standing around in a field waving their pricks at one another. Simple thing, that's all it is. Men are insecure about the size of their dicks, and so they have to go to war over it. That's what all that asshole jock bullshit is all about. That's what all that adolescent macho male posturing and strutting in bars and locker rooms is all about. It's called dick fear. Men are terrified that their pricks are inadequate, and so they have to compete to feel better. And because war is the ultimate competition, basically men are killing one another in order to improve their self-esteem. You don't have to be a history major or a political scientist to see the bigger dick foreign policy theory. It sounds like this. What? They have bigger dicks? Bomb them! And of course the bombs and the rockets and the bullets are all shaped like dicks. It's a subconscious need to project the penis into other people's affairs. It's called fucking with people. So, as far as I'm concerned, that whole thing in the Persian Gulf, nothing more than a big prick-waving dick fight. In this particular case, Saddam Hussein had challenged and questioned the size of George Bush's dick. And George Bush has been called a wimp for so long. Wimp rhymes with limp. George has been called a wimp for so long that he has to act out his manhood fantasies by sending other people's children to die. Even the name Bush is related to the genitals without being the genitals. A bush is a sort of passive secondary sex characteristic. Now, if this man's name had been George Boner, well, he might have felt a little better about himself and we wouldn't have had any trouble over there in the first place. This whole country has a manhood problem. Big manhood problem in the USA. You can tell from the language we use. Language always gives you away. What did we do wrong in Vietnam? We pulled out. Not a very manly thing to do, is it? When you're fucking people, you gotta stay in there and fuck them good, fuck them all the way, fuck them till the end, fuck them to death, fuck them to death. Stay in there and keep fucking them until they're all dead. We left a few women and children alive in Vietnam, and we haven't felt good about ourselves since. That's why George Bush had to say in the Persian Gulf, this will not be another Vietnam. He actually used these words, this time we're going all the way. Imagine an American president using the sexual slang of a 13-year-old to describe his foreign policy. If you want to know what happened in the Persian Gulf, just remember the names of the two men who were running that war, Dick Cheney and Colin Powell. Somebody got fucked in the ass. Thank you. Now I'd like to talk about a few things that bring us together, okay? Things that emphasize our similarities instead of our differences, which is all you ever hear about in this country, is our differences. It's all they ever talk about. Politicians and the media, always pushing the things that separate us, things that make us different. That's the way the ruling class operates in any society. They divide the rest of the people. They keep the lower and the middle classes fighting with each other so that they, the rich, can run off with all the fucking money. Fairly simple thing. Fairly simple thing. Happens to work. Anything that's different about us, you know that's what they're pushing at you. Racial differences, religious, ethnic, national backgrounds, jobs, income, education, social status, sexuality, anything they can do to keep us fighting with each other so that they can keep going to the bank. You know how I describe the economic and social classes in this country? The upper class keeps all of the money, pays none of the taxes. The middle class pays all of the taxes, does all of the work. The poor are there just to scare the shit out of the middle class. Keep them showing up at those jobs.
Damn. His mind is so brilliant.
He has a beautiful mind, huh?
Man, yes. You know what killed me though was when he was talking about America bombing or starting wars with brown countries, and then he shot to the audience. And then the white folks that were in the audience were kind of like,
they don't want to
funny, not funny. Right. And then,
truth hurts.
And then the fluctuation of the applause during like the voting and the things like, oh my God. Oh, it's so interesting. So interesting. And then the irony of the audience clapping when he was saying that that's my job. You know, when they bombed Germany, it's my job to be to run the world. And then we're like, whoa, in the audience, and I'm like, the irony of that is like the ego.
It's ingrained in Americans.
It was the ignorant clap. That's what I got from that.
And I don't like sometimes when, say, there's something going on around the world or whatever, and an American get killed, and everybody's all up in arms over that one American or somebody that got killed, and can care less about like the hundreds and thousands of Iraqi people or whatever country get killed, men, women, and children. It's like those lives don't count as much as that one American life.
Yeah.
You know, that always irked me. And as you probably know already, I'm not the biggest patriotic or nationalistic person. I don't like to, I look at humans as a whole thing. I don't chop it up in like borders and nationalism and all that stuff. To me is just like joining a gang or something like that. You know, I just was lucky enough my mom and dad had sex in this country and I was born. I didn't have a choice in any of that. I could have been born in Saudi Arabia, Ireland, anywhere I could have been born. So it's not, nationalism is not like big on my list. As long as you're treating the people in your family and the people around you and the rest of your community area decently, I think you're all right. You know, you ain't gotta put all this nationalistic stuff, because if anything, say another country invaded the United States, I'll be fighting first for my family, and then my block, and then my city, and then my state, and then my country, in that order. In that order. And until the country, state, city shows me the support and stuff that I feel that I need in my local community, block, home, family, then I'll give that back to them. That's why I say the whole nationalism thing is just a joke to me. And I'll never succumb to it until said things are done. You know, because I just can't pledge allegiance to something that doesn't pledge allegiance to me. So when the national anthems come on, you notice that certain games I go to, I'm never there for the national anthem. I don't care what country it is, whether it's the United States or any of the national anthems are like, it's brainwashing to me. So I don't participate. And to not be rude and just sit there, I usually get up and go to the bathroom. I am not a nationalistic person at all. I'm more humanity over patriotism. That's what I'm more about.
I'm sorry, bro. I just got a visual of you on the football field, like while Kaepernick's taking the knee. I can see brothers just sitting down and crossing his legs.
I am respectful. I will not sit during the national anthem, but I will go to the bathroom. I will find that time to go to the bathroom.
And he'll just be like this.
Yeah.
We're all militant.
Like I'm at an MC Hammer concert. He like this.
We're like a Black Panther on the field at an MC.
Yeah. Because I can't stand Hammer.
No?
No.
No Hammer time?
In that whole era when Hammer Time was out, I'm like, you guys listening to this mindless music? You don't even know what this stupid song's about. And the whole country
You gotta
loved
get
it.
with it, Troy.
I was waiting for that. I was waiting for that, you guys.
I saw right through all that stuff.
Hammer.
Yeah. Like Paul Mooney said, next thing you know, Hammer blew up, and next thing you know, he's doing fried chicken commercials, dancing around like doing them
That's true.
fried chicken commercials, and I'm
I
like,
love this pants though.
I thought that whole era was garbage to me. Hammer, Vanilla Ice, that whole era of music was super garbage to me. Super garbage.
Well, we were kids, so we were kind of forced fed that through the radio.
And I used to go to shows a lot, and all these dope ass groups would come on, and then next thing you know, MC Hammer coming up next, and the whole crowd going berserk. And I'm like, you guys listening? I'll be telling you, what that song about? Can't touch this. It's about can't touch this. What's the lyrics in there? You can't tell? You can't tell? Because the fool can't rap. And he know how to get people on the dance floor and give them mindless music.
He was definitely like a hype
Yeah.
performer, yeah.
Yeah. He was music crack.
Same thing with Vanilla Ice, you know?
Yeah. But where are they now?
Well, Vanilla Ice became a realtor, so he's doing pretty well.
Okay.
MC Hammer, he's a priest, or a minister, I believe.
That's the thing.
And I'm not sure what else, I'm not sure what else to say. Anyway.
Being a priest is a good hustle.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm gonna go there.
I was like, don't open this brain up. Don't open this brain up.
But I love George. George,
I liked his move, you guys.
what move?
And how he was pushed over, bro. Just the whole right.
That's a guy move right there.
Wanted to do it with him.
I like the Dick Cheney, Colin Powell. Somebody
The reference
got.
of the name.
Yeah. Oh my God, that was great.
And a
That was
Bush
great.
too.
That was great.
Bush,
Yes.
Dick,
Yes.
and
Yes.
Colin.
Yes.
Who would name their kids
And
that?
you know what? I thought he was gonna connect Bush being a bee.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
he said it a different way. But I thought he was
Yeah.
gonna bring that in as a punchline. But I enjoyed that. Intellectual comedy. Thank
Love
you,
you,
George.
We want to thank you guys for coming out. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and
Follow our social medias. Hit that notification button.
thanks again, and we'll see you next time on Top Talk TV.
Peace.
Peace, y'all.